Hello, Gareth here. So, how are you? I hope you are well. Me, I'm not too bad, but it's still very hot and humid in Japan, and my voice is not so good. But I'm doing my best. I'm fighting. In Japanese, they say "gambatte imasu," fighting. So, in this lesson, we're going to paint this wonderful mountain scene, and this is Glencoe. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it correctly, but moving on. Glencoe in Scotland. So it's absolutely beautiful. And the idea for this scene came from this book, which I'm basically studying at the moment. So I got this book, wow, a few decades ago in a second-hand bookshop, and I love this chap's style. But also what I learned is a lot of beautiful places in England and Scotland and Wales which he has painted. And this is his painting of Glencoe. Yeah. So what I did was I studied that painting a bit, just a bit. Then I looked at some photos online, and then from that I got an idea of what I wanted to paint, did a drawing, and then from the drawing did this. So I think it turned out pretty good. So an important point is you might find or think this is going to be very challenging, and it might be, but challenging watercolor lessons will help you improve tremendously, in my opinion. And also what, Gareth? It will be a lot of fun, I think, because it's wonderful to paint mountain scenes, in my opinion. I think they look so beautiful. So please have a go. And also, materials will be listed in the description box. So let's begin. Yeah, I think the mountain top is going to be right up here. Come down about here. It's very detailed, this mountain. don't get down if you find this a bit overwhelming. To be honest, I do too, because it's such a complicated subject. And the important thing to remember is that the more you have a go at doing something like this, the better you will get. But at first, it's probably going to be a very big struggle. But just try and enjoy the struggle. Because it's also a very beautiful subject. And for a long time, although I've really liked this kind of scene, I've never had a go at painting it because I just thought it would be too difficult for me. So I'm really happy now that I'm painting, drawing and painting these very difficult subjects, because they're also very beautiful and inspiring subjects. So I'm going to block in the shaded areas, otherwise it might get a bit confusing for me. Okay, so that's pretty okay, but this thing, it's beautiful, but it's very, very challenging. At the end, I'll show you some of the other versions I've done, or some of my attempts, because I'm not really trying to do any different versions here. It really is a fantastic mountain, this. That will do. It's very oversimplified, but it roughly looks like that. Make this bigger. Okay, time to paint. I want a soft sky. So first of all, I'm going to wet the sky. So you want a big brush, lots of water. And I thought I was prepared, but I'm not, because I need cobalt blue, I think. And I don't really have that. Oh, here we go. Going to need some more of that soon. Then next, mop brush. Maybe this will do. And I'm going to do a very dramatic sky with like the clouds almost looking like they're coming down. And it accentuates this and this shape coming down. So 1, 2, and 3. How simple is that? Okay, then moving on to a light grey. So cerulean blue and a little bit of alizarin crimson. Too much. So just begin maybe here. Add some blue, add some red, touch of yellow ochre. So this one is going to be very, very light, hopefully. Where is the sun coming from? Let's say here. Okay, and just going to get some more of this and just shape this a little bit nicer, hopefully. It's quite nice here. Now maybe I should leave it like that. I wanted to add slightly darker bit, but to be honest, I'm going to leave it for now, and then later on, if it's not strong enough, then I'll wet it and then add some darker areas. So you don't have to do the sky all in one go. Okay, let's leave that to dry. Now I'm going to do the basic colour. So I'll use a big mop brush. Where are you? Oh, here we go. And I think I'll start at the back with the distant mountain. And maybe just do blue for that. Maybe I should do blue with a little bit of burnt sienna in it, but anyway, that's cerulean blue. Then here I want a minty green. So I'm using cobalt blue and a touch of cerulean. I'm going to soften this edge later, after it's dried. It's quite an easy way to do it. And then here, this beautiful mountain here, this is a bit greener. Whoops. I'm always going over the pencil lines. Doesn't matter too much. It's a beautiful scene, isn't it? Just spray that to keep it wet. Beautiful colours, right? Maybe try and get some variety. So here's some cerulean blue, dab on my rag. So an extremely important point here. Please notice how I use my rag, or the way in which I sometimes use the water, then use the rag. It's very important. So try to pay attention to that. It will help you a lot, because I'm always being very careful about the kind of mix I'm using on the paper, how much water it's got in it, how much pigment it's got in it. And I can control those things by using this water and using this rag. So these are essential. One thing I noticed is students don't use their rag enough. And also, please wash it out every so often. So I've got one student who has been taking lessons with me for 4 or 5 years, maybe. Great student, but he's never washed his rag out one time. But I don't have the courage to say to him, but maybe I'll just give him a rag in the future, because it's really important. And all students are the same, actually. Many students are like that. They don't buy a couple of rags and then rotate them. So wash them out, dry them, and then reuse them. So you don't have to waste money with them, yeah? Okay, let's leave this to dry. So now I'm going to soften this distant mountain, and I'll use a flat brush. A little bit of water. Applying a bit of pressure. And there we go. Bit softer than before. Now it looks distant. Okay, so next I'm going to wet this. Then get my small bamboo brush. Then I want cerulean blue and burnt sienna. Bit more. Okay, and here we go. I forgot my microphone. Oh dear. Okay, not too bad. So let's do this mountain. Cerulean blue, burnt sienna, maybe I should have wet this, but I can do that later. So I'm adding darker colour, phthalo blue, alizarin crimson. This is kind of purplish. Back to this one. Let's keep it wet. Yeah, not too bad. Not sure about these little dots. So my dark colour, phthalo blue, alizarin crimson. So I'm not sure I got this quite right, but it's really important to be a bit kind of, I don't know how to explain it, but not overly worried, because you'll just get better in the future. So do what you can and move on. And that's what I'm doing here. So I'll maybe do one more version of this painting, and I'll just have a bit of a closer look at this area here. But it's important not to get too upset about not quite doing it right. It's going to happen a lot. You need to get used to that and just realize that as long as you keep painting, with time, you'll just get better and better. And I do recommend you have a go at these difficult things, because I understand you want to do something easy, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. But now and again, it's a real good idea to do something challenging, because it will really improve your abilities a lot more. So you need a mix. Mostly do easy stuff, but now and again, have a go at something challenging. It's actually a lot of fun. Look at that. I didn't mean to do that. That happened by accident. So this is quite watery, and it's spread into that, and it looks a bit like grass. So wonderful little things happen like that, which is nice. One of the tricky things with watercolor is that when you're relaxed and in the flow, or you just simply don't care, you're just having fun and painting, that's when you'll do some of your best paintings. Now, I know it's an easy thing to say, because even I myself, whenever I do a painting, most of the time, I'm trying to do a good job of it. It seems like the right way to be, right? Morally, you want to do a good job. You want to make it look good. But sadly, that way of operating leads to very, very stiff paintings normally. Not always, of course, over time, a lot of time, you can do a painting in that way, but it still doesn't counter what I'm saying, which is sometimes you'll just paint a picture and you're just doing a sketch, a watercolor sketch, and you're very relaxed and just enjoying the process, not worrying about the result. And that painting will have an energy. It will have something special that your normal, highly polished paintings will not have. So yeah. And I think you only get like that by painting often. Let me put it that way. I don't want to put too much pressure on you, like paint every day. So here I'm using cerulean blue, alizarin crimson, and burnt sienna. But if every day you can put just a few marks on a bit of paper, it's really going to make you a better painter. And just stop worrying about the results, because you really can't 100% control the outcome. Well, I've been doing it like 15 or 16 years. I can't guarantee that a painting I'm doing is definitely going to work. I have to be careful here not to do too much. So the important thing is just to paint a lot and enjoy it. And the rubbish paintings, just throw them away. That's what I do. I've thrown away maybe 50 or 60% of my paintings. Now, what's wrong about this is they look too similar. Can you see that? So instead of getting all upset, it's easy to do. Just change it. And here too, maybe break that up. Yeah, 60% of my paintings probably I've thrown away. So many, it's unbelievable. Must be like 600-700 paintings. And that looks very similar. So So I'm trying to break it up a little bit here and make it look irregular. But it's just so important. Sorry if I'm lecturing here, but it's so important just to enjoy the painting process itself. Just painting, yeah, that's what I mean. And know that in time, you'll do some great paintings. Having fun, experimenting, being a bit brave. I know it's hard, but that looks quite nice, doesn't it? Some nice colours there. Okay, let's leave it to dry. Now, with my pointed oval brush, I'm going to do the rocks. So maybe burnt sienna and phthalo blue will give me a dark brown, maybe a touch of alizarin crimson. I'm going to add a bit more burnt sienna, warm it up a little bit. Try again. Ooh. Difficult sometimes to paint within the lines. But you don't have to be perfect. Okay, that will do. And this one. Oh, and also this one. Already it's looking rather nice, I think. And these are grey, so I'm not quite sure what to do with them yet. Maybe, or a kind of whitish, very pale. grey. Maybe that will do. Okay, let's leave it to dry. I want to soften this bit here, if possible. Yeah, I think that looks quite nice. And I might soften this a little bit. And also this bit. Have to be careful where there's dark paint because this technique shifts the paint. If the paint's quite light, then it's not really a problem. You can't see it so much, but if it's dark like this, then you can see it a lot. Yeah, I think that looks nice. Okay, and then some aggressive brushwork. and I think make this darker. Yeah, that looks nice. Hmm. Okay, let's leave that to dry. Now I'm going to get a liner brush and I'm going to do some marks on these big rocks. So I'm going to use some white. And maybe a touch of yellow ochre. And what I ideally want is a dry brush effect. I think I need to make this a warmer colour. This too. It's tricky because you're trying to be careful, but at the same time, you know you've got to be a bit loose. Otherwise, it all looks too stiff and boring. We've got little rocks as well, coming down the slope. It's quite a beautiful pattern, actually. And that might be it. It seems a bit too simple. So I could add, white, cobalt green. I could add just a few lines here. I'm not sure whether to do this because I faded it quite a bit. Oh, but it might work. I don't want this to stick out too much. It really is quite beautiful, this structure. So this might be a bad idea, but I don't like this bit. Okay, and some white, some yellow, and a few highlights. It's all learning. There was a hair there. We don't want that. Not too bad. Still not quite happy with this. Well, it's really raining heavily outside now. Maybe better. Maybe better. I feel like I'm getting a little better at painting mountains, but I'm still not there yet. So this is Phthalo blue and Alizarin crimson. So normally I'm not this fussy with my watercolor paintings, and normally that's a bad sign, but I'm actually quite happy I had a go at that and did what I did. And I think, let's have a look. Well, it's definitely interesting. Looks a little bit unnatural, that does, but there's something about it that I quite like. Oh, maybe I don't need this here. Okay. Wow, I don't know if you can hear the rain, but it's coming down like nobody's business. If I can get some dry brush in here, that will be good. Ooh. Don't know if you heard the thunder then. Okay. And then final thing is just wet here and experiment. With experiments, a high chance of failure. So phthalo blue and burnt sienna, bit there, bit there. Maybe that will do. And then let it dry a little bit. What I could do while I'm waiting is just add a bit more of this stone here and a bit here. Okay. And then final thing is with the palette knife. Oh yeah, not bad. One day this will be absolutely brilliant. It'll be just those few little marks that, you know, make the foreground look really real. So maybe that one a bit too much. But it's going to happen because it's an experiment. But I can see the potential there. But it still looks good. Looks good enough. And this, still not quite happy with this. It's a strange thing, and it looks not so natural. Maybe that's a bit better. But I can see future potential in this kind of stuff. And it's been a lot of fun doing this. This dry brush technique works really well. Yeah, I think that's not too bad. Crikey, I could do this forever. Okay, I think that's it. Done. Okay, how did it go? Please let me know if you had a go in the comments section. I'd really like to know. And also, if you've got any comments you'd like to make, hopefully constructive criticism. If there's something you think I'm doing wrong, then please let me know in the comments. Or if there was something you liked, I'd love to hear from you. So I do sell my paintings, and at extremely good value. So that's my salesman pitch. and there will be a link in the description box. So I strongly recommend you have a look at that. And I'll be back again 1 week later with another watercolor lesson. I'm still not sure what it's going to be, but I'm going to find something, and probably this book is going to help me out a bit. But these are mostly scenes of England, Scotland and Wales. So at some point I will do some Japanese landscapes too, which hopefully you will find interesting and enjoy having a go at. So bye for now, or as they say in Japan, adios. No matane, matane. Bye bye.